Today's video, eating every crab in Asia.
7,000 crab species around the world. But how many of those 7,000 can you actually eat? Well, today, I plan to find out.
Today,
Wow!
I'm on a mission to eat every crab
Oh, wow!
in Asia.
It looks like you
Damn.
can throw this at your enemies to do some serious damage.
And by the end
Imagine
of this video,
stepping in that.
Crab leg sashimi.
That would be crazy.
taking on the most expensive crab that money can buy.
I want to try a little bit of the leg before I try the whole roll. Let's go for it.
But first, the most affordable and tiniest crab of the day.
The rice field crab. Let me show you a tiny one. Look at this little guy. So cute, so innocent, wondering how he got plucked out of his rice field home.
These crabs can be found quietly crawling around rice fields across Southeast Asia.
Its leg came off.
Those
in
claws are
Vietnam,
sharp.
demand for these little guys is so high, they're now raised on massive crab farms.
So let's talk about the price. 20 cents. Very affordable.
Damn.
This is the type of crab you're not really going to find anywhere in the USA, but here in
Nowhere
Southeast
near,
Asia,
bro.
they absolutely love it, and they make great use of it. So how do you eat a crab like this that's still small but has a thick shell? Well, here they're actually eating the entire crab. Almost the entire crab.
These crabs have a hard, thick shell, so in order to eat them whole, the crab's carapace, or head, must be removed. After head removal, the crabs are washed, then delivered to the restaurant where it's time to cook. In a bowl, these headless
Boil it
crabs are
up.
mixed with egg yolks and tempura flour. Coated thoroughly, then deep fried until golden and
And
extra
they're gonna make
crunchy.
them fried.
But what about the flavor? In a hot pan, a splash of oil is joined by garlic, lime leaves, crab fat, and the fried crabs. It's all tossed together until fully coated and ready to head out the kitchen door.
Our first crab meal of the day, the humble rice field crab. I'm gonna start with this small one right
Bruh,
here.
if you
Break
get
it
some
in half.
guac
Let's
with
see if
that,
it's
it'll
fried
probably
enough.
be
I'm a little bit
amazing.
scared I'm gonna crack my tooth or pop out my filling. Let's see what happens. Crazy crunchy. It almost tastes like a salted egg yolk on the outside. Folks here have this recipe down pat. What do? They take the head inside the carapace, they scoop out that fatty portion, and then that gets turned into a sauce that they toss these in. So that is a tiny rice field crab, but what about something like this? An absolute monster. It seems too thick to eat. Let's give it a shot. Can I say something? A little too thick. Something like this is nice. The texture of the small crabs, it's excellent. It's insanely crunchy. They've got a nice coating of flavor on there. And overall, it's a very pleasant experience, unique to Vietnam. This is something that you're not gonna find stateside. Are you? No.
I doubt it.
decided No. Very unique, a wonderful start to the day, but we have a lot more crabs to get.
There's a long lineup of crabs that I'm gonna try in this video, ranging from just 25 cents to a few $100s.
Them
Some
motherfuckers
steamed,
are
while others aren't
huge.
cooked at all.
Ooh, wow.
What the hell?
What's
Not
that,
cooked
brother?
is
But
crazy.
before that, there's a unique crab contender that I'm willing to bet you've never even heard of.
Take a look at these guys. These are known as
They look
three-striped
poisonous
crabs
as
in
fuck.
Vietnam, but they're also known as shore crabs.
These crabs can be found in many parts of the world: Mexico, Korea, Canada, even the
It's
USA.
doing that
Those types of crabs you're gonna see on the beach, climbing
thing
on
on
cliffs, going
Pokemon,
under
that
rocks.
Krabby
They have a
does.
very unique look. The body itself, it's a quadrate carapace shape. What's that mean? It
They
means
look
its body is
poisonous.
like a cube. It costs about 83 cents for one.
Bruh,
What
that's
if I told you that today
that's
we're
a
gonna
funny
turn
looking
this
crab, bruh.
into a salad? This isn't your mother's Caesar salad. This is
Mm.
something completely different.
But before we see that culinary magic, a quick word from the sponsor of this video, NordVPN.
Do you know what's scarier than bikers can sell you NordVPN? Crips your king of flight data for you browse and doesn't months. EFRS on what you control.
Washed thoroughly before being soaked with salt.
There we
and
go.
left to sit for a
Back
couple
to the
of days.
video.
Then they're flash boiled for just 1 minute. Not fully cooked, but enough for the next step. Now the carapace is removed, the organs are discarded, and the body is
Bro, that
halved
must
so
take
it
a lot
can
of work to
marinate
just
in a
cook it,
golden
too.
Sauce made from garlic, chilies, sugar, MSG, and lime juice. In a mortar.
I'm
Yard
okay, I
dog
see you,
beans,
mommy.
Tomatoes, papaya, and a special sauce are
Hey,
crushed together,
yo.
forming the base of this dish. This salad, originally from Thailand, comes with a Vietnamese twist that adds a whole new layer of flavor.
All right, folks, our crab salad has arrived. This is no ordinary salad. The smell coming off is slightly pungent, and that's because of this right here. A special Thai sauce using one special
That looks
ingredient,
spicy,
fermented
bro.
fish sauce. Snakehead fish have been fermented with vegetables until they become kind of broken down, smelly, and grimy. I'm not really selling it well, am I? So I'm gonna work my
That's
way
a
up
workout,
to-
bro.
I'm removing the crab's exoskeleton and revealing the papaya. Let's give it a shot.
Papaya.
Wow.
Papaya on that?
Absolutely. Oh, it's spicy too. I taste chilies, I taste sugar, possibly MSG, a little bit of sourness, and that real pungent flavor of that fermented fish sauce. That is unforgettable. Quick question. With something like this, would you like kind of chew it and then spit it out?
Yeah,
What about that? That's too big to chew.
but I have a strong teeth.
You're strong. Okay, cool, thanks. Velociraptor over here. So I've just been given some nice advice on how to handle the crab. Here's
Need
how it
a
works.
hammer
Take
for
a couple
that.
of the legs, maybe some hip meat, put it in your mouth, chew on it, and then spit it out. That's it. So it's like a
Bruh.
piece of gum. You're trying to strip all the flavor out of it. Let's try it.
Break your teeth.
It's very flavorful. I wouldn't recommend it as a flavor of chewing gum though. And right now, I'm ready to regurgitate the crab shell. I will do it into the head. I can't believe that's the normal way to eat this.
I
food.
hate
As you're
eating
chewing it,
stuff
you are
like
getting
that.
Some of that meat flakes and the sauce, all of it is going down your throat. It's a wonderful flavor. For sure, this is one of the most unique. bizarre
Then it
salads
feels
I've
like
ever
you're
had,
eating
and I
the
absolutely love it. Just make sure
what's
if you
it
come here
called?
and order
The
this,
shell
you've
and
got
shit.
strong teeth. Braces not allowed.
These small
Right.
crabs are cheap, but a bit lacking in the meat department. Next, we're 10xing our crab budget in
Boys
search of
are
an even juicier
huge.
bite.
The
Our
blue
next
crab.
is the blue crab, coming in at about $7.87. The blue crab
That's
is
a big
called the
jump
blue crab
right there.
because it is blue. But there's also brown crabs. These are both technically blue crabs, but what is the difference? Let's do some crab anatomy. You can look under its carapace at this right here. The more phallic it is, that is a male. Whereas if you look at these brown crabs, underneath the carapace is very wide, like a dome. That is a female.
In Vietnam, blue crabs thrive in the coastal waters of the Mekong Delta, where their sweet, tender meat is a prized ingredient in dishes like ban can cua. But blue crab recipes extend well past these borders
I
to
need
other
some
Asian
crab.
countries like Korea, where the blue crab is served
Crab and
raw.
lobster.
First, the blue crabs are washed and chilled on ice. Next, the carapace and any unwanted bits are removed. Today, these sand skippers
What,
will be
apple?
made into raw Korean soy sauce crab. It all starts with a soy sauce-based broth, where water is added along with garlic, black pepper, leeks, greenhorn chilies, apple slices, and tea bags filled with secret medicinal
Hey, bro, they
herbs.
know how it's done.
This flavorful concoction is
How
simmered
you get
for
all
an
them
hour.
flavors in there.
Then the solids are removed, and the remaining chilled liquid is poured over the crabs along with chilies. These crabs marinate for up to 5 days before they're ready to serve.
Damn, what the hell? That's a long
I
ass
gotta say, it
process.
looks amazing. This is the soy sauce.
It better
plus
be
many
good,
different
bro.
Flavors mixed
5
together to
days.
really season that meat. Oh. It has an incredible depth of flavor that's really refreshing. It tastes salty, sweet, and spicy in the head, and on the side of the body, you have these orange parts right here. Now, a lot of people confuse this for being the eggs of the crab. They are not the eggs. What I learned in Cambodia is that the eggs are located beneath the crab. Are you seeing it now? So what is this orange part inside of the crab's head? This is a gland
Those
inside the
wee-wees.
crab that works to produce digestive enzymes and filter impurities from the crab's blood. Yum. Ooh, wow. What's that, brother? Let's give it a shot.
I ain't doing that.
I gotta say, it's remarkable. That was very, very good. Spongy, soft, perfectly soaked up the flavors of that sauce. This is basically a cross-section of the body. Now, you can see as I squeeze, some of the meat is protruding out already. Very satisfying bite. I just realized, is it still raw? And the meat is very soft.
Oh, hell
This is
no.
the best blue crab experience of my life. Usually with these types of crabs, it's such a pain in the butt to get any meat out of it, but this feels so substantial. You feel like you're really getting a mouthful of something delicious.
From here, we're venturing into the realm of unusual looking crabs. From a coral reef type looking crab like this, to a spiky and dangerous undersea samurai, flown all the way from Japan. But first, another unusual crab with an equally unusual name.
This right here is a hairy crab, and it's a little bit hard to see, so I'm gonna set it free. Oh, wow.
This crab is banned in the USA for being an invasive species and a threat to ecosystems. But here, it's a highly prized delicacy whenever it's in season.
This one right here comes in at about $9.50. The
Yeah,
hairy
you
crab
know
is
that's
called
gonna
the
be
hairy crab
expensive.
because of this right here. Voiceover, let's tell us what that is for.
The crab's hairy claws resemble mittens, earning it the nickname mitten crab. This natural disguise helps it blend seamlessly into its surroundings, confusing predators
Hey,
and
that shit
victims
kinda look
alike,
tough.
leaving them wondering
Like
if it's a
Pokemon,
crab or just a fuzzy set of mittens. Unlike the other dishes, cooking this crab is surprisingly simple. After being washed and chilled on ice, the crabs are placed on a fragrant bed of perilla leaves, lemongrass, and ginger. Then, they're steamed. But there's a reason for the simplicity. I'm told these crabs are packed with 2 types of crab fat, each with a distinct color.
So where do we start? Look what's behind door number 1. Let's close that up. I don't want to see that again. I've been told to cut the crab down the thickest part of its body. Oh, cracking it open. Wow. A kaleidoscope of yellow and orange fat.
That's
on
like
the
a sandwich,
inside.
bro.
Maybe we
Put
could
that
share a
on the
spoon in there?
sandwich.
Wow, somebody is watching this from Shanghai and they are very disappointed in me. It's not how you eat it. Oh wow, that is a different experience from anything we've had so far. That fat is dense and flavorful. It's got these nice orangey and yellow bits. This is what makes this crab so special. A little bit of a dip in this Vietnamese sauce. That's awesome. I gotta say, when I saw this crab, I thought it's so small, who would eat it? But it turns out not every crab is just about its legs or its
Actually,
meat.
let
Every
me
crab
see
has something different and something
something.
special to offer. It's dense, it's somewhat sticky, it's a little bit chalky, but full of flavor. Amazing. I gotta say, I'm very impressed. That's some of the best crab head fat I've ever had in my life.
Crab
We're
head
about halfway
fat.
through our crab extravaganza, and by the end of this video, we'll meet a crab so pricey it makes the hairy crab look like pocket change at over 30 times the price.
Is there any crab bigger than the king?
But before we roll out the red carpet for that crustacean,
Our next crab is right here.
I'm heading to a Japanese restaurant for our next cod
Bro, how do you
contender.
even eat that?
Crab. These are crabs found in the northernmost
The
area
hell?
of Japan, Hokkaido. And actually, they're only caught once a year for a couple of months. And so even for Japanese folks, they're pretty rare. For one crab like this, 35.
Looks like a heart, kinda.
That's wild. Wait,
Damn.
what's under here? Don't look under there.
The
Bruh.
chef is whipping up crab croquettes. Step 1 is carefully extracting all that precious meat from the shell.
The
I
name
guess
Hanasaki means
that's a lot of
flower's
work, bro.
bloom, referring to how its legs look like a flower's bloom.
In a pot, butter is melted and combined with wheat flour, soy milk, whipping cream, shiitake mushrooms, the crab meat, and a touch of salt.
Oh yeah, you know that
Whisked
shit
until
gonna be
smooth,
good
then
as hell.
cooked into bite-sized roux balls and cooled in the fridge to become firm. Once dense enough, these balls are coated in egg yolk, rolled through a mix of wheat flour and breadcrumbs, and sent back to chill once more. After a few hours, they hit the hot oil, frying to golden perfection.
Here we have our Hanasaki crab croquette. So what is a croquette? A croquette is a deep fried roll originating in French cuisine. There's an amazing kind of crust on the outside.
You know that
It's
shit gonna
hot and
hit,
kind
bruh.
of loopy on the inside.
Just looks like
Savory,
it
but
tastes
still has all
amazing.
that amazing crab flavor on the inside. If you're not getting enough crab essence, you definitely will with the addition of this dip, a sauce made from the crab fat and a few other ingredients, including butter and pureed onion. Oh yeah, a real unbridled, pure taste of crab. So how does the Hanasaki crab differ from any other type of crab? Well, first of all, it's Japanese. So their birth rate is probably declining. Within a few generations, they'll be gone. That is true. Japanese people are gonna be extinct in like 50 years.
Bruh.
Regarding the croquette, delicious. I loved it. I've never had anything like it. I'm genuinely very impressed. But from here, we are building up to the most expensive crab we could find in Asia. We're heading there soon. Let's keep moving. Our next crab is the mud crab.
I'm ready
A
to
crab
go to
known
bed,
be
bruh.
Very aggressive. Today I am in luck because this thing is wearing some giant, adorable pink handcuffs.
In places like Vietnam, mud crabs are farmed to keep up with the ever-growing demand.
Big ass
These guys get
claw.
into sparring matches with other crabs all the time, and they also are very territorial, defending their own turf. This guy right here costs about $35. At this location, I'm not just excited that we're going to be eating a mud crab, I'm excited about the way they prepare it. A preparation that you're only going to find here in Vietnam.
First, the crabs are steamed. Once cooked, the chef carefully extracts the meat from the legs, body, and those massive claws. Next, the crab meat is stir-fried with shallots, bits of Chinese sausage, shiitake mushrooms, garlic sauce, and scallions. The protein is now ready, but the chef is just getting started. For the
Let him
carbohydrate
cook.
component, sticky rice is mixed with pork floss and cooked until fluffy. Meanwhile, a thin layer of sticky rice hits a pan of hot oil, transforming into a crispy, golden brown sticky rice cracker. Basically, a crunchy rice bowl that receives the stir-fried
Like a
crab meat
tostada,
followed by the
amo.
sticky rice.
A crab or
Damn.
rice or rice wearing a little crab hat. There's nothing in here, by the way. This is to let you know that there is a crab in here. We're gonna get to that soon. First, a little lollipop of meat. Let's give it a try.
The features my face. The features my
Oh, that's wild and delicious. That's fascinating because usually when you eat a crab claw, you're expecting that natural sweetness. That sweetness has kind of left and has been replaced with a deep savoriness. Very unique. Oh yeah, there we go. The shell that has been created is very thin, but inside it is housing all
Damn.
the best of Vietnam. Sweet sausage, crab, sticky rice, the best form of rice.
You just need some avocado and that's it.
Devastatingly delicious. That nice chewy texture from that sticky rice, sweetness from that sausage, but you're still getting plenty of crab flavor too. That's so cool. Oh yeah. A Vietnamese tortilla chip, crunchy, it tastes like toasted rice, it's so good. Now I'm not sure if they do this here, but I believe the next move would be take some of that rice and some of that sausage and a lot of that crab, put it onto our Vietnamese tortilla
Yes,
chip.
sir.
I don't know what else to say. I'm absolutely in love, and I believe this is for sure the most inventive use of crab we've seen so far, but we have a lot more to see. So,
That's a crazy plate, bro.
welcome to our next crab in this crab lineup, the Japanese Kagani crab. After they catch it, they partially cook it, and then they freeze it. This would be nearly impossible to find alive unless you were actually in Japan.
The Kagani, or horseshoe crab, is found along the Hokkaido coast in Japan.
It's hairy. It's more like thick bristles. You could use this to, I don't know. dip
Bro,
your
these
pet
crabs
pieces with
get
vodka
crazier
on
and
the couch.
crazier and
Use the
bigger,
underside
bro.
of this crab to buff it out. This guy right here comes in at a whopping $66
Damn.
per crab. So how do you prepare a crab that's already partially boiled and then frozen? We're gonna find out next.
Just like the crab itself, the recipe for this dish hails from Japan, starting with a good steaming. The chef prepares a marinade using dashi, dark soy sauce, mirin, kelp, smoked fish flakes, and sake. The steamed crabs are marinated in this rich, umami-packed sauce for 12 hours. Once ready, the crab fat and some of the leg meat are turned into a decadent dipping sauce, topped with salmon roe for a pop of flavor and texture.
Japanese crabs are so unique. I just
Hairy
feel like
ass
every time
crab,
I
bro.
see a crab and I find out it's from Japan, I go, it looked like it was from Japan. They look like underwater samurais. I want to start with the leg. Taking the leg and he shaved off some of the shells so you can easily get the meat out of there. Ooh, it's so easy. Nothing better than crab meat that's easy to retrieve. Oh, it's so excellent. It's such a light flavor. I do taste some sake. It has a little bit of sweetness, a little bit of smokiness, and a lot of umami flavor. A flavor that can only be enhanced with a little bit of Sapporo. I think I just woke up the giant within. Here there are some kind of yellowish parts. I've been told that is the crab fat. Okay, that is very nice. It's creamy. It's slightly briny, but then there's just a lot
It
of
looks
shell.
like
And
doo-doo.
what do you do? Am I eating this right? So, my guy, I'm confused. I'm looking at this. What do I eat? Oh, so you have to like go and like, oh, it takes a lot of patience, right? Yeah. I tried to shove in the tiny fork, but there's so many just little crevices. You have to be careful just to get the meat out and not get a bunch of the shell with it. If you find the crab too challenging to eat, there is always this right here. The most delicious
Yeah,
parts
bro,
of
that's
the
a lot
crab
of work
condensed down to one delicious
to
whole.
just eat.
Oh yeah, this is excellent. I absolutely love this. So I guess what you gotta do if you're gonna eat this is get a chef who's patient enough and willing to take all the fat and all the meat and all those little strands and put it into a little dish like this for you to scoop up with a spoon, because then it's 100% worth it. Absolutely delicious.
Yeah, that
Just
other
one
way is
stop
too much
away,
work, bro.
laying eyes on the most expensive, biggest crab you can find in this country. But before we get to that king of crustaceans, there's another worthy opponent waiting in the wings.
The Japanese snow crab. First of all, a small body. That's what I like to see, because usually if you're paying for a whole crab, you're paying for the weight. I don't want a gigantic carapace like a Tasmanian crab. I want a small head, a small body, and I want this. Beautiful, long legs.
The name snow crab says it all. They thrive in the icy, cold northern oceans, stretching across the Pacific from Alaska to Japan.
These guys literally flew here, probably business class, from Japan, coming in at about $77. That is pretty wild. In a moment, we're gonna see this crab get made into something innovative, delicious, and
Hell
Japanese.
no.
First, the crab is carefully halved, with the carapace, juices, and fat set aside as we'll be needing them soon. Next, the leg meat is skillfully extracted and arranged on a serving boat, where it'll remain raw.
Yeah, if you paying all that money, they gotta do all the work and take all the meat out.
Together to simmer. Then soy sauce, sugar, salt, miso paste, that crab fat, and its juices are added, creating a flavored base. The crab's body meat joins the broth, turning it into what I can only describe as a cooking soup.
Oh wow!
It looks
it's
like
really
salsa
it's more like
verde.
a paste than anything else. It's like a British pea mash. Would you like to buy a newspaper for £1? But as it cooks, it is getting a little bit more thin. Let's give it a shot. Oh wow! It's like a thick crabby, sweet paste. It's very rich. It's got a nice flavor. So I've been told by the chef, he said, take the leg, put it in the soup, and cook it shabu shabu. So shabu shabu style in Japan is when you quickly dip usually some meat into a hot broth to ensure even faster cooking. I'm just gonna bury it in that pasty soup. So is it cooked all the way through? No, it's probably cooked about 10% on the outside, but it is caked with that green paste. Let's give it a try. Oh, it's very sweet.
That's
it's very
different, bro.
tender, but since it's not cooked all the way through, it's not like flaky. It just kind of slides down your throat hole.
Hey, yo.
Oh, that is so good. The fact that you can just take a leg like this, the tendon is making it hold on so you can handle it, and then when you're ready to bite it, you just peel it off with your teeth and just the tendon remains. It is such a thoughtful, delicious preparation. By the end of this video, I'm gonna tell you which crab preparation was my absolute favorite.
That's probably
And I gotta say,
his
this
best.
one is very impressive.
Well, his
this was
favorite.
an amazing experience with the snow crab, but we have one very expensive crab that remains. We've come to our final location where we're going to be eating our biggest, most expensive crab yet. This right here is a
That's
king
a big
crab,
boy.
6.8 pounds of pure juiciness. Now, they say crabs that come from colder climates have more flavor because they have more fat. And I hope that that is the case here.
It hails from waters around Alaska, Russia, and Korea, but the one we're about to devour flew here all the way from Norway.
Coming
So
in
what do
at
they even eat?
$300. What is so special
Actual
about these
fish?
crabs? Well, have you ever seen that show Deadliest Catch? These are the crabs that fishermen are nearly killing themselves for in order to catch. But that risk comes with a price. These are also one of the most expensive crabs you can find around the world. What are we gonna make out of it? Are we just gonna steam it?
Well, yes, but wait, there's more. In a pan, butter is melted, and in goes garlic, ginger, scallions, parsley, shallots, and a special ingredient, belacan, a funky fermented shrimp paste. Chili and tomato paste are added, and the mixture is cooked down before being blended into a rich, velvety puree. That puree returns to the heat and an egg is stirred in. Once the crab is cooked, its giant meat chunks are carefully extracted, coated in tempura flour, and deep fried until light and crispy. Now it's time for the build. The rich
That's what I'm
puree
talking
meets the
about
crab
right there.
chunks. Then they're stuffed into a toasted bun lined with crisp
Mm.
romaine lettuce. And there you have it, the ultimate king crab roll.
You don't even get the whole thing. You paying $300
And it
just for
looks
that?
Amazing. Now, many of you have heard before of a lobster roll. I have even gone to Maine, the place where they source America's delicious lobsters, and I had a lobster roll right at the source. It was incredible. Here, they're elevating it and they're putting it into a recipe that's familiar, but with a little bit of a twist. I want to try a little bit of the leg before I try the whole roll. Let's go for it. Oh my God, it's super delicious. On the outside, you can see the seasoning and the color change from frying the crab, but on the inside, it is snowy white, juicy, and delicious. Oh God.
Yeah, like how it
That's the
should
winner. On
be,
the side,
bro.
we have what they're calling a Singapore sauce, which contains a little bit of Malaysian shrimp paste. Oh, I'm so excited. This is gonna be a little bit messy. Outstanding. The roll is toasty. It has a nice crunch to it. Meanwhile, the sauce, super savory, almost kind of umami, like a gravy you're putting on top, which feels a bit unfamiliar, new, and intriguing. Then you have the crab itself. It is full of fattiness. It has so much juiciness every time
That
you
looks
bite
so
into it.
good.
This is a sandwich for the 1%. Nay, the 0.1%. I know a couple lawyers in the 1% still can afford this, mainly my lawyer. Why do I have a lawyer? I don't want to talk about it. It's completely indulgent, completely addictive, and I'm in love. From here, I'm going to tell you which of all the crabs I think was the absolute best today. It's important information for you to know in case you guys also want to get crabs.
Hungry for more fun food videos? Join me at more Best Ever Food Review Show, a channel that's unfiltered, raw,
Oh, look, the server.
subscribe.
Oh God, they're vicious. So this is, oh God, it's going under here?
Bruh.
That's never coming out, is it? How do you cut a crab out from under an oven? I do appreciate that the crabs have hair, and I appreciate that
They'll
they're
come
called
out
hairy
eventually.
crabs, and that people still want to eat them after hearing that name. Because what other food can you put hairy in front of and make people actually want to eat it? Hey man, can I get you a hairy sandwich? Hairy
Hell
soup,
no.
super hairy milkshake. Sounds awful. Have you ever heard the expression like crabs in a bucket? This is what they're talking about. Every time you try to get up, someone's got to pull you down. So I asked the owner just a moment ago, these claws, they are huge. How do you handle something like this? She said she has strong teeth. Let's give it a shot.
Bruh.
Oh, I can't do it. I think I broke my retainer. It's fine. It's Friday night. I can go fix it. on Monday. Boom! In this video, we ate every crab that we could find in Asia, or at least in Vietnam. There are so many crabs. I'm hoping that today in this video, you got to see some crab species you never even heard of before. Anyways, if I had to choose one of these 9 crabs that was my absolute favorite from today, it would be...
The long legs.
Hold on, I forgot for a second. The mud crab. Even I'm surprised by this, because I'm not just considering the crab, I'm also considering the preparation. Mud crabs are delicious, but it has to be a big mud crab. The crab played well with the sticky rice, the Chinese sausage, and it was a delicious combination that still brought out the tremendous flavor of the crab. Let me know if you want us to tackle any other seafoods, because we can do every shrimp, every lobster,
all the
every
fish,
and etc. Otherwise, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time.
Yeah, but that's it for this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe.